Congratulations on Clemente. Uh, I just got a chance to watch the documentary, and there's so much to get to here with your father. Talk a little bit about his legacy, both as a Latino player and a Black player. Um, this sort of double racism and discrimination that he faced in his career. Um, how did that shape him and the types of things he was trying to achieve in his career?
Well, he certainly knew how he was going to take this privilege that he was given to play. And he, from the very beginning, knew he was representing the working class, the people that did not have a voice at the time. He found out about, the different ways that, racism, prejudice took place in the States when he first got in 55, 54. And he knew that he was not going to put up with it, and he demanded to be, treated equally. So I feel that more than baseball became a vehicle to get his message across.
I think that those obstacles that he had to go through definitely um, set a goal, and I think really helped him get the flame of continuing to fight for the people that he cared for, the minority people, the hardworking people.
Yeah, I love that incident that's described in the documentary where he's in spring training in Florida and he tells the manager, "We're not eating here because if I can't eat here, nobody's eating here." Talk about that incident and just kind of what that says about him as a man.
Well, that was him. That was he had a fire, right? And he was right. He was absolutely right. I mean, if I'm not good enough to eat here, I mean, why? I mean, he did not want anything from that place and wanted to be treated equally. So he felt that if anyone in that bus would receive anything from that place, he was not going to let that happen.
Well, and even the fact that the teammates would actually go in and eat at that restaurant. He says we don't have to wait for them to bring us anything from that place, and he would tell. It's just I think that's where the impact really takes place. When he's telling and motivating others to understand, you should not put up with this. This is not right. And he would say, and any of you who has said dinner, the food from that place, we're gonna go at it. He said, but Roberto, we're starving. We have to eat something. I said, I don't care. You have to be, he says if and that's where he said, if we're not good enough to eat in this restaurant, then that food is not good enough to feed our souls, is what he used to say. So you have
Yes.
to have dignity.
Dignity. The dignity part is it was a major force behind that, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk a little bit about his relationship with the press, because I mean the press didn't quite know what to do with him because he was a very assertive and in a lot of ways didn't get the respect that he deserved in his time because of the way he was covered. Talk a little bit about that dynamic and how it was reflected in his career.
Well, there are many ways of being trying to understand the relationship. You have to understand that number one, in 1955 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, um, there were really no Latinos, walking around like they are today. But to bring him into Pittsburgh in 1955, which is shortly after Jackie broke the barrier, there was still a lot of racism and the mindset. So the news reporters will, phonetically kind of do their thing and they're disrespectful in many ways. He truly did not like that at all. But then you need to understand that this is a different culture and that they did not understand. And just a learning curve for everyone, and not only for the players, but also for the community. Also, watching this guy that looks like an African American but speaks differently. How this is, But it took a minute to really open the door to this relationship, to understand each other, but the media itself, it was a tough one for him. I mean, he felt disrespected and it became a very volatile relationship with the newspapers.
Yeah, and he had this unusual relationship with the fans too. I mean, after the 1960s World Series, he didn't go party with the team. He went out and hung out with the fans. Talk about how his relationship with the fans was so different for that time period.
For that, the fans, were everything. He says they pay for our salary. So he dedicated 100% of himself to the fans. He, in the 1960 World Series, that's what he felt. He says, what I feel is I went and congratulated everyone, but then I ran out and my heart was with the fans. I wanted to go out there and be there. I thought that was what was important to me, and that's what I did. And he was heavily criticized for that. But he felt he gave his all at all times because he didn't know what. Remember, he always represented the working class, and that was the most important thing for him, to become the voice for those who didn't have a voice at the time. So he didn't know at any and every single game what that fan had to do to be able to get to go to the game and watch him play. So that would have been probably the last opportunity, the one-time opportunity they would have to see Roberto play, and he gave it. Like, it didn't matter if the Pirates were not gonna win, for him kind of like running against the fence or whatever. He was doing it for the fans at all times.
Let's talk a little bit about the tragedy of his death and a little bit about what that means, because he died trying to deliver uh, aid to Nicaraguans. Talk a little bit about his death and kind of the larger meaning of that and his work to help underprivileged people.
Well, we truly believe that, well, number one, the reason why he had to get on the plane was because he had sent aid already, and the aid that he had sent had been taken by the Somoza militia at the airport. So he felt the need to go and break that militia line to go across and get to the hospital that he was communicating with. But we truly believe in that he lived his life in a way. Actually, the way he died shows the way he lived his life. I mean, he cared for others, and we truly believe that that day we lost a absolutely fantastic ball player, but a great human being. And that day a legend was born, because we're talking about 51 years later, about him, the way we are, his legacy growing stronger every year, with more namesakes in schools and parks and leagues that are still coming up in books. It's amazing that the new generation are learning about him in third and seventh grade, and the kids are getting excited about learning about this ball player, this great guy that played baseball. Let's put it that way, because actually it's the other way around. Baseball is secondary to the story.
Yeah. Finally, what do you think you would make of Major League Baseball today? I mean, the fact that Latinos are so dominant, the enormous salaries. What do you think he would think about it?
That he will be paid today to
No,
play?
no,
No,
no.
just what would you think? What would you make of this whole situation of
Okay. Well, I mean, he worked
diversity of
really
the
hard. He
yeah.
worked really hard for this to take place. I think he's got a lot of credit in what is happening today is still relevant, because the way he carried himself, and he would tell others, Latinos at the time, our actions will open doors to others. And that flair that we have as Latinos, as the way we play the game. Look at Javi Baez, running back towards home plate after, who does that? That's the flair we bring to the game. And I feel that it's what Dad wanted to see. So he will be extremely pleased and happy about it.
In that way, but also I believe that there's still a little work to be done in terms of being able to push and open more in terms of the Latinos in executive positions and managerial positions and so forth. So I know for a fact that he will be really looking into pushing more into that side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, congratulations on the film. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's gonna open a lot of people's eyes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the You Interview channel. With over 3,000 original celebrity videos, we have one of the largest collections of celebrity interviews anywhere. So remember to like and comment on our videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more involved, you can become a member of the channel. Membership has its perks. You can see exclusive celebrity videos and get the opportunity to ask our celebrity guests questions. We can't wait to hear from you.